On today's Moving the Chains, Jarrell, a fun interview because we always love it when alumni get to go home to coach, and that's Norman Washington heading to coach at Spring Valley.
Yeah, man, a homecoming in two ways. Coming from Georgia, spent a lot of time coaching there, and then going back to his alma mater. So it's really fun catching up with Coach Washington there. Excited about what he's going to be able to do with the Spring Valley program because it's definitely going to need a little bit of a boost. But what better guy to do that than an alum here?
A proud program, like you said, I think is going to get infused with some nice energy from Coach Washington. Hope you guys enjoy this interview. Once again, Norman Washington, new head coach of the Spring Valley Vikings, here on Moving the Chains.
Get ready for the ultimate South Carolina high school football experience with Moving the Chains. From previews to recaps, we've got you covered. Dive into our expert preview shows, predicting winners and sharing insights. Then join us post-game for the thrilling recaps, exclusive interviews, and highlights you won't find anywhere else. Plus, connect with fellow fans on our Friday night spaces on Twitter/X. No one covers South Carolina high school football like us. Join us at Moving Chains on all social media platforms and visit movingchains.com today.
Welcome into Moving the Chains, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. I'm Kevin Thomas alongside Jarrell Hendricks. Got a great interview today, a very special guest, the new head coach of the Spring Valley Vikings, Norman Washington. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm doing outstanding. I appreciate you guys having me on your show today.
Well, man, we appreciate your time. We really do. If this is you guys' first time tuning in, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter/X, Instagram, YouTube, and more at Moving Chains, our website, movingchains.com, and our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and all other podcast platforms. Coach Washington was hired in March. He was a linebackers coach and on staff at Gainesville in Georgia for the past 2 seasons. Prior, he spent time at Centennial, Johns Creek, and Mount Vernon Presbyterian School, all in Georgia. Coach, let's start there, man. What's that been like? I know it's probably been a whirlwind getting from Georgia over here to being the head coach now at Spring Valley.
Oh man, it's been exciting because obviously coming back home, but it's also just been every day is a new obstacle. From just trying to making sure that I got things right for the team, we got practice schedule set up to I still have a house still there in Georgia, haven't fully moved here yet, so. Hopefully, we'll have some good news here in the next week or so on where I'll be laying my head down consistently throughout the season. But overall, man, it's been a great experience. I can tell you that much. Just to kind of just get back here and just see the overwhelming with the support that I've received since accepting the job and actually day one since I got on campus. It's just been great.
Coach, I know people in that community are familiar with you, obviously you being from there, but for the listeners who are out there who aren't, if you don't mind filling in your coaching background, a little bit of your playing background as well, since you played college ball as well.
Yeah, so obviously I played here at Spring Valley, graduated 2007. After graduating, I went to Middle Tennessee State, played there under Rick Stockstill, and, got a lot of coaches that was on that staff. Manny Diaz, who's the head coach at Duke, who's my defensive coordinator. It kind of goes on to Justin Watts, who's now at Duke. Willie Simmons, who's the head coach at FIU, was a coach there. Got a couple teammates that are coaching now. Middle Tennessee was a great place. It was a great selection for me. Leaving here kind of felt like home away from home. And during those years, man, we upset some teams, played some big time programs, and played well, and I overall thoroughly enjoyed my experience at Middle Tennessee. And then once I got done playing ball, I actually stepped into the world of finance for a little bit. Was a financial planner for about 5 to 6 years, and then it's kind of funny how I got into coaching. I was trying to help out a youth program there in Nashville called University of North Antioch. I'm sorry. They're called Bears. And so I went there just trying to help volunteer, try to help raise some money for the programs, and end up meeting a guy that was from South Carolina. He's from Woodruff, and he's the head of that program. And he's like, hey, man, why don't you just come out, just help out for a little bit and be an assistant coach? And after day one, he said, after practice, hey, I'm going to need you to be the head coach. So that kind of walked me into my journey of being a football coach at that time frame. And a lot of those kids are now off going to college and everything else. But that 1 year, it let me reignite my joy for football and just really coaching and developing a relationship. And then right after that, I kind of moved to Georgia. And my first, couple months, I had a family member whose son who was going to a high school, Mount Vernon Presbyterian. They needed a safety coach. I mean, I really wasn't doing too much. I said, sure, why not? And then that turned into now, hey, I'm 9 years in, and I went to Johns Creek for 3 years and helped change the program around. Went to Centennial, kind of in the same space that we're in right now. Haven't won a game over a couple of years, but had a great staff we were a part of and helped change that culture. And then ultimately landed me at Gainesville, where, hey, we had some good runs the last couple of years, just didn't end the season where we wanted to. But I felt like I learned a lot on that staff, just not even just from my head coach, Josh Niblett, but I mean, the guys that I've coached on and coached with, from the defensive coordinator, Steve Davis, who's now back in Alabama, and then Casey Smith, who's still the defensive coordinator at Gainesville. Me and him came in together, and then, just those guys on the offensive side of the ball and special teams, man, I feel like I've learned how to coach and learn a lot of stuff that can help me out and prepare me for this moment.
We always love talking to guys that get to kind of come home and coach with the alma mater. I mean, and how, as an alum of Spring Valley, how special is that to you, Coach, to be able to be back in, the school where you play, where you grew up, and to be the head man there now?
Man, it's like I say, man, the only thing I can say is it's surreal. Like, honestly, because I knew I was coming to Spring Valley ever since I was in the second grade. So I saw the Michael Bowares, the Travis Williams, the Steven Jacksons, like, coming to the games on Friday nights and seeing them play, and then seeing the other guys playing with Leon Hart, who went off and was a Gatorade All-American. And, it's tons of other names that even played with me, that when I got this opportunity, man, it was so special just because it brought back a lot of memories. I brought back a lot of just history, tradition that was here. And, really, I want to come back here and bring that back, get us going back in the right direction, and also teach the culture to our guys now. And that's been like the biggest thing since I got here. Hey, man, we got to know the culture, know what was the standard around here. Yeah, we had some great players. We also had a lot of guys that, people probably don't even know about, didn't go play in college. I got a guy I played with my senior, Cam Lightheart. I talk about him to this day. He was 165, nose tackle for us, but he made plays. He worked his tail off. And, I haven't seen him in a minute. I've had a few conversations here recently with them, but it's just like I think about those guys more than I think about the guys that went off and played and had big time careers. But just because it's just like that was a fun time for me, man. Like, it was so fun just being around here and being in that era and just seeing it. So I'm definitely excited to be back. But man, it's just been every day I walk in here and I kind of think about something that happened, or when I played, or whether it was before me. For sure.
Coach, you mentioned that whirlwind of a transition there in getting in place in March and through April in the spring. But a big part of that transition is hiring a staff. Where are you in that process? Do you have some positions still available, or are you ready to? Are you guys locked in, for this upcoming season?
Man, we're actually locked in. One of the things I always tell everybody is that I am a true Columbia guy. I'm really from South Carolina. And honestly, like, me being able to hire a staff, it was kind of nerve-wracking a little bit because, yes, I'm from here, but my coaching tree is from Georgia. So, obviously I got guys I came up in the ranks with, like, hey, man, I got this opportunity. I would love for you guys to be able to come over and actually, come with me, take on this opportunity, maybe help me grow and you grow as well. But once I got here and had got boots on the ground, I didn't realize some of the connections. Jimmy Noonan, who was my head coach in high school, I talked to him, about hiring guys, getting information. Mike Armstrong, who was my strength coach in high school, I contacted him. Guys that, Coach Cedric Jones, who known me since I was like in third grade, he was a D-line coach here, but he taught me in middle school as well as high school. Like, they were just kind of giving me information, I would find names. Hey, they kind of helped me in that process. So really, right before spring, I had my whole staff hired. I was kind of thoroughly surprised in that process of me being able to kind of get guys. And I feel like I got some great quality guys. My offensive coordinator's coming over from Dutch Fork. He was a part of that program. He actually quite kind of funny.
You gotta shout him out, Coach.
His name is Willie
shout
Sutton.
Him out for us. There we go.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Coach Sutton, Willie Sutton. It's kind of funny that now he's coaching with me, but he also helped me get recruited to Middle Tennessee State. So it's just kind of like that long list of just relationships. And he was one that really just kind of helped me trying to bridge the gap with a lot of coaches as well. And then obviously end up having some coaches reach out to me via Twitter when you got the job, and kind of had some stuff. So did some vetting, but I feel like just from a quarterback standpoint, Luke Ormby, who's a coach, he was here previously. At one point, he coached DQ, who's now in South Carolina, but he was at Travelers Rest, and he's coming back to help with the program. And then from there, I got some offensive line coaches. I got two. One is Brandarius Jones. He's coming from Keenan. And I feel like he's a great guy. We got Cam Muller, who's a young coach who played at Old Dominion. And he's now stepping into the coaching ranks and really helping us out. And then I feel like the biggest hire that I didn't have to make was my running back coach, who's actually my strength coach. I feel like once this job came open, man, I mean, I'm going to attribute a lot of my success this year for what he was able to do from November until April for me getting hired. I mean, he got these guys looking totally different from what I saw on film. And that is Coach Will Lucas. I mean, that guy, he's worked his butt off, and he earned his paycheck before I even decided to keep him on staff. I'll tell you that much. So it's been great to kind of have him. And then just from a defensive standpoint, one of my teammates, Willie Williams, he was previously on staff. He's coaching my defensive line, linebacker coach, Coach Camp, Stephen Camp. He's here. He was kind of one of those glue guys that was already here, and hey, they brought that fire, that understanding. Hey, this is a we thing, and hey, we just didn't get it right, and like they want to get it right. So that was great to have him. I had a former teammate of mine, Jonathan Cunningham, who's coaching my corners. Obviously, I'm coaching in the secondary as well, but we were actually able to bring on a coach that coaching our track team, and they've won state, I think, the last 3 years, except for this year. But he coached here at one point, Coach Tremaine O'Neal. So it's just been great to kind of get that varsity staff together, and then we were able to kind of build out our future staff, which I call my 9th grade team, because they're the future of the program, and got a lot of guys that are former players that were here. That played with me. Some are older than me. So we got like a nice little future staff together where, hey, those guys are going to get the same type of coaching, same type of development, and they understand like the vision of the program and where we're trying to take this thing. So I feel like the hiring process was a lot easier than what I thought it was going to be. I'm sorry I kind of shouted everybody out from the varsity standpoint, but
Awesome. Well, Coach, obviously you're coming from Georgia, so people may not be super familiar with, your coaching style, your coaching background, but what should we expect to see, on offense and defense from the Vikings this year? What's some kind of scheme stuff you guys are going to do? And then will you call plays for either side of the ball as well?
Yes, I'm going to call plays on our side of the ball, defense. Defensively, that is my background. That is, what I've done. Being in a lot of different schemes that I've been in Georgia. I've seen just things that work well, things that don't. Very multiple style, attacking defense. But just kind of put my players in the best play. A lot of players to be plays, make plays, not trying to over scheme or overdo things that's difficult defensively. And then offensively, we're going to make sure that, hey, the biggest thing about here, we ran the ball when I was here. So we're going to have a form of running game, but we're also going to be able to utilize our weapons on the other side, on the perimeter as well. And I feel like we got some good weapons in all aspects. And I really feel like our offensive line, I've been thoroughly impressed with the type of work they put in on the offseason that, hey, they make me feel confident. Hey, we're going to be able to run the ball and we're going to be able to pass it as well. We're going to be very multiple, and definitely just being able to utilize our guys and allow them to be able to execute at a high level.
Coach, you mentioned some amazing coaches that you played for. Coach Stockstill, tremendous ties to the state of South Carolina. Coach Diaz, Coach Simmons, and then obviously your former employer, Coach Niblitz, one of the best high school coaches in the country that you've been able to learn from. People in South Carolina probably haven't heard that name before, but who are some other coaches, maybe in the pro level, college level, and in around high school that you kind of model yourself after, or outside of those guys that have been influential in your career?
Oh man, first of all, I got to go through all the guys I've had the opportunity to be under as far as head coaches. The first guy that gave me a high school job was Wayne Dabbs, and that's at Mount Vernon. That guy was, things I learned from him, players coach. But he always found a way to kind of make the scheme fit our players. He was never a guy to kind of, hey, I saw this on Saturday, and hey, no, what do our guys do well? How can we put them in the position to do what they do well? And then, hey, we're going to win, lose, or draw that way. Like, I know our guys are going to put them in the best position. And, I mean, that was the first year they ever made the playoffs, and that was under him, and that was just a great experience. And then Matt Helmrich, who's now at Peachtree Ridge, he's a guy that gave me my next opportunity in Georgia at Johns Creek. And, man, like, that guy really was all about the guys, all about the players. I mean, things that he did with the guys that, as far as from off the field, like team bonding stuff, um, things that I felt like were great, would have been great as far as when I was in high school or even when I got to college. Like, he implemented a style with all our coaches every week. Like, you need to have a meeting or a dinner with your guys that, hey, it has nothing to do with football. It is all about being able to build connections with those guys. And just to see from the 3 years I was there how those simple meetings. I mean, I got guys that, they would call and they were excited about Thursdays or Wednesdays whenever we are gonna have dinners. Like, hey, coach, are we gonna go out here and go do this? And then, that I took that model from him and then went to Centennial, and then that turned into, not only were we having it, the parents like allowed me to come into their houses and have meals with them, with their sons and the players, and that was just like a cool experience, just taking that. And then Sean O'Sullivan, he's the guy who was actually defensive coordinator at Mount Vernon when I was there. He got a head coaching job, and then he brought me in to kind of be a co-DC, kind of teaching me schemes and kind of how we can kind of be multiple and how you can blend coverages and what you want to do as far as from attacking mindset. And just from his recruiting background and what he coached in college for a lot of years. And so a lot of times, I mean, guys that I actually sometimes just went down into Florida or went down to Georgia or Alabama. Pete Ghost and one of his good buddies, like, just allowed me to sit in those meetings and just talk to them and pick their brains about stuff. He gave me the confidence to say, hey, man, like, if you don't want to develop in this game and just want to learn stuff, go clinic. And that's what he always used to tell me, hey, man, just go. Like, wherever it is, if you're out of town, just shoot a message to somebody. Don't feel like, hey, you're too small or you're too big to go somewhere. Man, go there, sit down, talk to these coaches, man. That way you kind of learn ball from a whole different level. And I was able to learn it from him because he was an offensive guy, but also he was a defensive coordinator. So we were actually able to talk about things and kind of learn and be able to how do you dissect the offense from a defensive perspective and what little keys and cues to kind of look for. And then Niblett, man, I mean, a lot of people don't know about him, but man, that man is literally the GOAT. I'm gonna be honest with you. The success that he's had, I understand by being there for 2 years. He understands how to build a whole program from top to bottom. He thinks about every little detail. Everything matters to him. And so he makes sure that, hey, not only does it matter to him, it matters to the coaches, it matters to the players. And just having that buy-in from everybody to understand, hey, we all have a same common goal and we know what we want to get to. And I feel like a lot of stuff that I've learned about building a program, really is from him. And just to be able to have those guys' phone numbers and call them, man, it's a joy to know that I was able to go there and create impact where they feel like, hey, I still can pick up the phone and call me and tell me, or I can call them and ask questions about, hey, what do you think about this? Or, hey, how should I got the whole spring schedule? I mean, technically, before I took the job in Gainesville, we were still preparing for spring because I didn't know if I had the job or not. So it was just like me and him would have one-off conversation, and he started preparing me like, hey, if you get the job, hey, you need to kind of think about this, kind of model practice schedule this way. You got to kind of get an offer. So, I mean, I called him a couple weeks ago, man. Hey, we talked about not just football stuff. I mean, after I got the job, I got engaged. So just had to talk to him about, man, how do you balance, work-life balance? Him and his wife, like, how do you show up for your family and kids and still think about other kids that aren't your kids? Like, it's been a great experience just talking to him. And then got other guys, and one of my best friends who's in college, Alan Smith, he's at Army now. Me and him talk. We've always talked. He stayed with me when he got into college to go for an interview. So, and that's like my brother, my best friend, our family's his dad. As soon as I got here, started calling me, telling me, hey, how can he help me? So me and him have talked. His younger brother is the strength coach at Georgia Tech. So with me trying to feed kids and kind of just pregame meals, man, he called me, kind of gave me just information and things to look into. So, I mean, those are two guys that, hey, I constantly talk to all the time about stuff. And then Travis Williams is like my big brother. You know, I played with his two younger brothers, but as soon as I got the job, man, he called me. He actually had a surprise visit, came down, met some of the kids, been able to talk to him. John Miller, who's at the University of Indiana, running back coach, man, him still talk to today. He's a former alumni guy. So he's been kind of giving me some information and just kind of, hey, want to know, hey, what is going on and how to kind of get this program back going in the right direction, just in our conversations. And then, you know, I got a good buddy of mine, Doug Belt, who's the DB coach at University of Southern California. You know, me and him talk, and I built a great relationship from him. And then the Stockdale's at Florida State. So, you know, I got a kid that he recruited, and he's down there playing. It's kind of like I might as well say a nephew, son. He's going to have a good freshman year. But me and Stockdale, as soon as I got a job, he was calling me, talking to me about stuff. And, you know, he definitely told me when the job came up, he said, hey, man, that's a no-brainer. Like, go home. Like, that's kind of like what he told me. That
Sure.
they give you the job, I think you should take that job. That's a great career move for you. And honestly, it'd be great for you to get back home. And then outside of everything, I mean, my mom still lives here, got a lot of family here. So, you know, she's not a coach, but she is a coach. She's a team mom, and she's kind of been that other person that's kind of been in my ear, just kind of talking to me about little things, different stuff, and just trying to help me out. And, you know, my dad as well has been helping me out. And my brother, who's in North Carolina, I have a nephew that, you know, when I got the job, he was trying to figure out a ways to come down to South Carolina, but I don't know. We're going
Love
to
that.
kind of make that happen a little bit. But, you know, it's kind of been a very, very big family affair, man. Like I, I don't know what else to say, but I mean, the people that have been helping me out, I feel like they really, truly care about me and care about what I'm trying to do for this program.
Coach, you know, we love talking to guys who it's really, you know, their first head coaching job. You know, you were a longtime assistant, I guess. How did you know that this was the time for you to really take that jump to be a head coach?
Honestly, it was one of those things that I kind of toyed with. You know, you kind of know that, hey, the last 2 years we lost semifinals, lost right there the quarterfinals, like kind of going to state. So you kind of chase that. You know, you want to chase that ring. You want to go get that state championship ring. But when I figured out this was the best move for me, honestly, it was, you know, after, you know, talking to now my fiance, but talking to my parents, and talking to guys that I really trusted, you know, just about this, because I've been wanting to be a head coach. I've had interviews, had opportunities, got down to the finalists, and, you know, hey, they went another direction. It was, hey, you got to have experience, or you're just not experienced enough. Well, this opportunity right here just felt like just totally different. You know, it was different than any other interview I had. More so, it was just had some people that, you know, from the community that wanted to, hey, we wanted to get a former alumni in here. Um, I didn't realize people were paying attention to me, you know, even though I was out in Georgia all this time. So I got a lot of phone calls from people, and then I kind of sat back and really had an opportunity to just kind of really just analyze everything. Like this is like, if I make this move, like, one, hey, there's a whole big piece that has to go into it. How do I want the program to run? What would I like to do? What type of support I was going to get? And honestly, after I had a conversation with our principal, Jeff Timoni, athletic director John Combs. Coach Combs actually was a basketball coach. I played basketball here too. He was a basketball coach when I was in ninth grade. So it was kind of like one of those, like, hey, you know, I remember you from then, and we kind of had a conversation. But once we sat down and had a real conversation, like, hey, this is the direction I want to go. If I can have these things line up for me when I get here, you know, when we're going to be an early morning program, being able to practice in the morning, you know, being able to kind of do these little different things that I felt like were going to be very important for us to be successful off the field, with, you know, tutoring and, you know, academic support, you know, being able to talk to counselors here in the building and talk about, hey, this is what I want to do. How can I do it? And that was just when I had those meetings, and I felt like, hey, they had the same drive, energy that I wanted for these guys and for the program. That's when it just made sense. You know, it didn't come down to, hey, no longer the ring kind of aspect. Like right now that I was chasing, it was more so like, it's, as I tell everybody, this is a family member that I know personally, and they have a problem, they need help. Well, I've been a part of programs. I've seen how to change this and get this thing back in the right direction. And it was like I'm needed here, and I want to be here. I want to be where I'm needed, and I want to be able to change this. And then just to remember, like, I mean, Coach Noonan, everything that he did for us when I was here, and the guys before me, and Coach Armstrong, like, they did a lot for me, and I feel like it's my job to pay it back forward. I've seen it. I've seen where football is going now, where high school football is going. They say Georgia is the Mecca, but hey, I know we have a lot of good talent here in South Carolina, and we kind of get looked over a lot of times. But I plan on kind of help developing our guys to compete, at that level, so we get that respect back. And Spring Valley is here. I mean, this Check V, it means something here in South Carolina. Everybody knows it. Here we're not where we were in those years past, but hey, we're brick by brick. We're going to start building it back, and that's the plan.
Coach, you talk about talent, and there has been no shortage of talent to come through the halls there at Spring Valley. Who are some special players that we need to be looking out for in this upcoming fall season?
Oh man, got a senior, Brent Mills. I mean, he just broke our squat record, 515. But I mean, that kid has been, I mean, his body has totally changed. He's one of our vocal leaders, and I definitely think that he's hungry. He wants to change. He wants to kind of get the program in the right direction. So he's been one of our main leaders. I also have Shamik Reed, who's a senior. He's going to play, offensive guard for us, but also some defensive line for us as well. I mean, those two guys in the weight room, I mean, they have definitely pushed the envelope as far as like really developing and getting stronger for this season. We also have Sawyer Sheffield, who's a linebacker for us. He's going to be a senior. Bryson Hugie, everybody calls him Huggy because it's his last name, but I mean, that kid, I mean, as far as in the weight room, as far as what we want, as far as a leader, I mean, he has been that for us, for our guys. And then we also have Dylan Redden, who's going to be our senior. He's going to play quarterback for us, and also he's going to be a safety for us as well. So, we're expecting big things from those guys in that senior class, and they're definitely a part of it. And then we also have a couple other guys that are kind of in that junior class, like Zion Bennett, who's a running back for us. He'll be a junior. Trey Smalls, who's a basketball player, but he's playing running back and receiver for us. He's going to be a sophomore. Braden Lawton, sophomore at receiver for us. Marcel Goodwin, who's going to be a senior, and Ethan Porty Broadwater, as far as on the offensive side of the ball, the kind of guys that are going to be special. And then we got some other guys like Cam Porty Broadwater, who's a senior. I mean, he's our alpha guy on the back end, and he kind of gets our guys lined up. And if you came to practice, you're going to hear him talk, and he's going to make sure guys are lined up right. And, they're kind of on the sideline coaching guys up, coaching the young guys up, which I mean, when you got a guy that's willing to do that, man, that lets you know, hey, we're going and doing things in the right direction. So we got stuff going in the right way. But those are kind of some of the guys that stick out, that I've seen day in and day out. They're bought in what we're doing, and they're trying to change the culture and get this thing going.
Coach, we were talking off air. You got into the building right before spring ball pretty much started up, man. What were you able to learn, about your group in that spring practice time period?
I mean, the biggest thing that I learned, honestly, and I'll tell anybody this, it's easy to be up when like things are well, like, ready to come to practice, ready to, be up for a game because, hey, you're winning. But it's like you have true character when, hey, you told me that, hey, you went through a season that you didn't win a game, but you showed up every day, every week, grinding it out, and, hey, chips just didn't fall your way. So that let me know, like, physical toughness, mental toughness is there. It was just that, hey, we had to kind of establish a culture for those guys. And so that was like the biggest thing. Like, they came to practice once we got the pads on. The practice tempo was totally different. The intensity of how we coach, the expectation was totally different. But like they didn't like go woe me or hey, make excuses. It was like, hey, we got to figure it out. And like every day, hey, I kind of talk to them and critique them on, hey, how we need to practice and what needs to get better. And you saw it. You start seeing, little small hurdles of like us getting over those small hurdles to kind of help be successful. And man, I think like these kids are, I mean, they've been through a lot. These seniors have been through a lot, and I definitely feel like they have that hunger and that desire that, hey, on Friday nights, it's going to be very special on Harry Perone and any stadium that we go to, that they're going to give us their all. And that's all that I really wanted to see. And that's something that we keep talking about, man. Effort is everything. Nobody can take that from you. I can't coach that in you at all. And if you come here with that every day, we're going to be very successful. And that's what they've been able to show. I mean, the weight room is what I've seen, how they worked out in the weight room, and then now starting to see it like translate during the spring on the football field. I mean, Georgia, we're in pads at this point, so you kind of have padded camps, but right now we can't. So, I would love to kind of would have loved to kind of get a little bit more physical component more than those 10 days that we got. But, I feel like right now we're still having some of that physicality kind of getting it after in practice, but they're actually able to really be able to learn what we're trying to do because we threw a lot at them. And you're talking about 21st. May 1st, we started. I mean, you only had like 10 days prep work, and I didn't have the full staff hired until maybe 3 days before spring practice. Like we threw a lot at them in a short amount of time to be successful, and we were able to they were able to pick up a lot of that stuff, which was very surprising to me just to see like the attention to details of what they picked up and what they grasped. And then we got a lot of kids asking questions, man, like, they're thirsty for knowledge and they want to get better. And they know this isn't them. This isn't Spring Valley, and they want to put on a good display on Friday nights, man. That's what's been very exciting to see since being here.
Coach, we're catching you late June, so we've gone through the majority of 7-on-7 schedule. As a defensive, minded guy, how are you a fan of 7-on-7 stuff? And then you're coming from Georgia as well, where you mentioned they're already padded and things like that. We've introduced the 11-on-11 here. Are you looking forward to getting into that and implementing that at Spring Valley?
Yes. So 7-on-7. So it's kind of I got a funny love hate or kind of I guess displacement with 7-on-7. I feel like it's great. So while I was in Georgia, I had a 7-on-7 program that I was a part of and kind of ran with a couple of guys that I knew. And I definitely saw it as a great development tool because the game is going to space. And if you can play in space, I mean, that's what's going to help you when you're talking about being recruited for college. And, we still kind of have little league teams that run like prehistoric wing T type formations. You got, the 50-man front or 60 front or whatever, just kind of like not really teaching them how to play in space. So I see it as a value to kind of teach a kid how to learn about zones, learn how to play man, the quarterback being able to see, the field and being able to learn and develop in that way. Now I don't like when, hey, it kind of gets bastardized a little bit and you kind of got guys that, kind of put funky formation that's not real formations in the mix of things. But I do see it as an attitude, kind of where you kind of get guys out there throwing the ball around, learning what you're doing offensively in the pass game and defensively as well. Now, the one thing as far as the padded camps, I wish that the state of South Carolina kind of goes to that. Just because you give kids 2 months off without hitting. So you're going to, once we get past, I mean, we're jamming in, a lot of hitting right before we kind of get to our first game. And these kids going to be sore. You kind of get through all that soreness that, hey, at least they had some type of hitting. We don't do a lot. We kind of have, maybe 2 or 3 padded camps that we probably have in Georgia. And they're spaced out. You have one in June, one in July. Maybe you might have a third one potentially if you can kind of schedule it. But at least they've done some type of hitting throughout the summer. And they just kind of prepare their body for that. And I know everybody's worried about the heat and the sun and all that type of stuff, which, South Carolina, especially Columbia, is a bowl. So I understand that heat just sits here in the summertime. So it's kind of tough and you want to kind of have safeguard for those kids. But, it's one of those deals like June has been an interesting month for me to kind of figure out 7-on-7 and then try to also try to get introduced to this 11-on-11 O-line, D-line work where, I just don't think that I think I feel more safe with kids having pads on when you got O-line, D-line with that close proximity, kind of doing some of that work with them versus them just being in just helmets and jerseys.
Coach, growing up in the state, Spring Valley was a program that was always, top level, really good football over there, really good star players, a program that's got a lot of rich history, especially. And, they've had some down years lately. Can you tell that the community is really hungry for a winner, and how they kind of embraced you coming back home since you got back here in, I guess, April?
Well, I'll tell you this much. I now have 2 phones because my phone has not stopped. So I tell everybody this. I tell all my players this. Like, I've had the same number since I've been about 14, 15 years old. It hasn't changed. So I've been getting a lot of calls, a lot of people, a lot of former alumni that I played with, some before me, and as well as I got family members that were here, that played here during a time period. And, they will kind of want to see this program get back right. When I go out into the community, I was just at Shiano's, which is a restaurant right here in front of our campus. They talking to the owner, and when I went in there was a guy that was probably graduate, maybe 93, 94, and he just talked about, hey, coach, like, I'm glad that we got a former alumni guy here. We can kind of get this history back, get guys to kind of get tapped back into our culture. And, everybody's not talking about the players. They're just talking about the products that they're seeing on the field. They want to see the guys kind of play hard, play with that grit, play with that toughness. And that's one thing that, when I talk about my teammate Cam Lightheart, like, he wasn't an all-world beater. I mean, we had, during that time frame, I had Mason Chloe played at Clemson, Quentin Richardson went to South Carolina, Kyle Fisher went to Vanderbilt, and this guy was going against those guys every day in practice. We just made each other better. They just kind of want to see that product on the field, and they've been just very gracious, man. Every time I go somewhere or I have this stuff on, that people that don't know me and they find out I'm the head coach, and hey, they kind of end up hearing about kind of this what I did when I was here in the era that I was a part of. And they're like, hey, what are we doing? How's the team looking? I think we're gonna have a great showing. I think spring game. I think we had a great showing for the spring game. A lot of people came out and supported. I think this was, from what I was told, a lot more fans that have been in the stands than this past season. So that was just great, and the kids saw it. And once you kind of see that support, man, I talk to my guys about all the time, man. Listen, you have a unwavering support of former alumni that is here in the state of South Carolina. And a lot of people want to see the program get back to where it was. And they're not talking about just wins and loss. A lot of them just talk about the product of guys competing on the field. And that's what they keep talking to me about. And that's what I preach to our guys about. I mean, competition is king. When you compete, hey, things happen. You never know what's going to happen in the game. But if you're constantly competing, you're not worrying about, hey, a bad play here, a bad play there. Like, hey, we're kind of focused on, hey, let's execute at a high level. And, hey, I'm going to try to win my one-on-one battles when I have them. And I'm going to make sure that, hey, my guys know, like, hey, I'm responsible for this action or role or whatever with our offense or defense. And I'm going to do my part. And I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. Hey, some good things are going to happen when you got guys believing that way. So just from the community standpoint, man, it's been unwavering, man. I literally had to get another phone just so that, hey, I can just kind of only have family call me on that phone and let this phone just be the phone that, hey, everybody else has at this point.
Founders Federal Credit Union means banking made for you. The on the go, the pick up and go, and the I want to go. Because at Founders, we give you the financial tools that make every dollar work for you. For the little things to the big things. For your future and your peace of mind. We'll always stay grounded in our roots, but reaching beyond what you'd expect is where we'll always go. Find out what our members already know and enjoy a new way to bank. Relax. You're with Founders.
Couple easier ones here for you, Coach. We'll let you go today. Maybe it's in your office now for a home game on a Friday, maybe on the bus to an away game. But what's on your pregame playlist as you get ready to take the field?
Oh man, it's kind of one of those interesting things. I'll tell you as much. It comes down to my mood or what I may be in that morning. So every morning I wake up, man. I'm probably up, 4:30, 5 o'clock. I might get a workout in. That's kind of like my deal. It just kind of calms the nerves, keeps my mind focused. I learned this from Coach Niblett. This man gets up religiously every morning and work out. So it just kind of just became a habit. and it's kind of allowed me to focus in a little bit. So some mornings, hey, I may have some gospel going on. Some mornings it's definitely R&B that I have going on. And sometimes, hey, it's occasionally, since I've been back here, I can tell you spring game. I played a little bit of Young Jeezy. That was kind of like during my era. And me and my guys kind of listened to that. So kind of brought back some of the memories being down in the locker room. But honestly, it just comes down to my mood and where I'm at. I know a lot of times I try to keep my emotions down. So I know it's probably going to be a little bit more like oldies, R&B, my dad used to have me listen to, hey, we got Aretha Franklin to, hey, we got, it can go from an array of different things, things that I heard my mom clean up on Sundays with, the Temptations to it kind of get very interesting. You might have some Michael Jackson, Prince, and yeah, in there in that mix as well. But I try to have something that's gonna keep me calm before the game for sure.
Love that, Coach. Everybody that we have on the program, we have to ask them a food related question. So we got to ask you about a restaurant, east side of Columbia, where me and Kevin are coming down there for a game on a Friday night. What is one restaurant that we should check out before we go watch the Vikings hit the field?
Oh man, that's a tough question, man. I'll be honest with you, because I'm still kind of getting reintegration into the community.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to still learn like some of the restaurants as of right now. One place that I have been frequent at right now is a bar called Top Dogs. They have some good wings and some good tater tots. So I can say that's been one. My fiance, she cooks, so a lot of times me going out to eat isn't as often. But right now, with me being here, she's not here. I definitely kind of go out and eat a little bit. So I can say Top Dogs is probably be one right now. That's right here in the Sand Hills area. That's literally 8 minutes away from our campus. So.
Perfect. Well, last one here for you, Coach. I know it's still a little bit early, but what are some goals you guys have set for the 2025 season for Spring Valley?
Honestly, for us, and when I talk about our guys, hey, we're worrying about us. So, the biggest thing is we want to be champions in all we do. And that's what I'll talk to our guys about. That's our ground level. And when we talk about being a champion, I'll talk to them about, being at home, man. Hey, I want to be the best guy to take the trash to the front of the yard. I want to be the best guy to wash dishes. Like if I got siblings, I want to be the best one out of it. Like I want to be a champion at doing our homework. Like, hey, making sure that in the classroom for quizzes and tests, like those are the things that we're talking about being champions in. And then I know that when you focus in those aspects, those details of the little things, then that's going to equate to what we're talking about in the locker room, making sure my locker room is the best clean. When I'm talking about, understanding my assignments on special teams, on offense and defense, like that's what we're talking about. So my main goal is for our guys to be champions in all we do. And I hold myself accountable just like I hold them accountable. And then we just kind of go into our core values of what we're preaching and what we're talking to our guys about. Hey, we got to choose hard. We're going to have high truth, high love, and it's me plus the V. Like, I feel like those areas of if we focus on those things, that's everything that's centered around us. If we focus on us, then everything on the field on Friday night is going to take care of itself.
Well, this has been great. I want everyone to go check out Coach Washington and the Spring Valley program on social media. They do a great job posting updates on their program and their kids. Certainly follow them on there. Like I mentioned, follow us on social media, website movingchange.com, our podcast on all podcast platforms. Moving the Change is brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Jarrell, anything else for Coach? We'll let him go today.
Coach Washington, you have been extremely gracious with your time today, and we are very appreciative of you, joining us today and telling us about that program. And really excited about the trajectory of your career. Young guy getting an opportunity. 07 class of 07. I'm the same one, so it's good to see these young getting those chances. And you talk so easily. You seem like a podcaster, kind of like us. Is there something else that you would like to tell the folks about out there?
Yes. So I actually am a podcast. I haven't been able to kind of get back up on it since I have taken this job, but it's called Kicking It with Coach. It's something that I'm a shoe guy, so it's one thing that I definitely like doing, but it's definitely something as far as just with sports, and we cover a lot of array of topics. I got a lot of former coaches or not even coach, former coach, but guys that coach, whether it's college, high school, kind of interview, just kind of shedding their light on their journey as far as being a coach. I mean, me getting this job, definitely I had my own journey of getting here. And I try to tell everybody, nobody's journey is the same. I didn't get into coaching until I was 27, 28. Now I'm 35 and I'm a head coach. I did not see this when I first got into this. I was just doing it as a hobby and wanted to get in, and I found pure joy in doing it. So with Kicking with a Coach, that's something that I do. And I also kind of do something. I got a little mukbang action with me and my fiance. We do. She likes to cook me different meals, and so if you see me on Instagram and all this different stuff, I got quite a different meals that I have, and she cooked some great food. So that's why also I try to get up and work out a little bit, just so I can try to keep this weight down a little bit. But I kind of do that. But yeah, I enjoy talking. So, it doesn't bother me none at all. And being a part of this podcast platform, man, I want to support everybody that's doing it. And I think it's great.
Well, Coach, we appreciate it, man. So look forward to stopping by a practice or a game, getting to meet you in person, and best of luck, all right?
Thank you.
Get ready for the ultimate South Carolina high school football experience with Moving the Chains. From previews to recaps, we've got you covered. Dive into our expert preview shows, predicting winners and sharing insights. Then join us post-game for the thrilling recaps, exclusive interviews, and highlights you won't find anywhere else. Plus, connect with fellow fans on our Friday night spaces on Twitter/X. No one covers South Carolina high school football like us. Join us at Moving Chains on all social media platforms and visit movingchains.com today.